Today, we're gonna kick it old school and not just old Hollywood school, which I feel like kind of the vibe I'm giving off right now, but we're gonna do kind of a tutorial. This is my favorite look in the summer. Usually the lip is a little more orange, but I'm on the hunt for a new kind of hot red color. I used to use Morphe Hot Shot, I don't know where it is, but I'm trying to stop supporting that company. So if you guys have a good dupe for Morphe Hot Shot, please let me know. This time the red's a little bit more blue based, but I think this is so cool for summer, like something really minimal on the eyes and a bold lip. The eyeshadow look today is super simple, and if you don't have hooded eyes, you might not even have to do eyeshadow at all. You guys know I love a red lip, and I haven't done a red lip inspired tutorial in such a long time, so I felt like today'd be a really good opportunity. But I want to let you know going into this video right away, my skin is in such a bad place. You're gonna hear me mention it about 1,000 times in this tutorial. I have an idea of what's causing it. I've mentioned it several times before, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But it's bad underneath all this. I just really haven't felt comfortable or confident to get on stage. On stage, wow. I just haven't really felt confident or comfortable getting on camera with my skin this bad to do a tutorial, and it's been this way for a few months. It's been very frustrating. Today I'm doing it, and I already know that I'm gonna get, ew, you're hideous without makeup comments, which is just like so stupid because I'm fine as hell no matter what, but whatever you say. So I guess just understand that my skin's busted, and I'm not gonna apologize for it. I think that's such a negative thing. I see that all the time where people will get on camera and be like, sorry about my hair, sorry about my breakout, sorry about this. And like, I'm not sorry. I'm human and I have bad skin sometimes, and it's okay. This too shall pass. So be aware my skin's in really bad shape. I think I did a pretty good job covering it up, but it is what it is. And I'm sure tons of you guys have had rough skin seasons as well. Doesn't mean we can't put on a little something, feel a little better about ourselves. But yeah, I'm not going to talk anymore. Let's get started on this video. Check the down bar for links on my social media platforms. And this is a chit chat get ready with me video. So that means I will have a naked face in a 3, 2, 1. Okay, you guys, let's get this party started. A lot of what you're seeing now is some active breakouts, but it's a lot of scars. My skin scars so easily. If I get a breakout, I will have a red spot there for a very long time. In fact, I'm actually going to go back on tretinoin for a little bit. I was off of it for some time, but just to kind of clear this up and get my skin back to where it was, I'm going to get back on tretinoin. So I want to say, please excuse my skin, but I'm not going to apologize for being human. And if you want to rip me apart in the comment section for being an actual normal person, then go for it, I guess, loser. Anyway, so I'm going to start off with brows. You guys have been asking me about my brows a lot lately. Some people hate them, some people love them. I love them, so I don't really care if anyone else likes them. But I have been asked for a tutorial. So I've done this once before in a video. I think it's the last tutorial I've done because I haven't been doing many, I know. But I'm going to do it again for you. I'm going to start off with the Anastasia Brow Freeze. I've had this product for a while now. I love it. It's my favorite brow product I've ever used. I'm going to apply a generous amount of it to a spoolie, and I'm just going to push. So mostly I'm going to push the front of the brow up, and the back of it I'm going to kind of shape into an arch. I think that's the hardest part of doing a brow look with this type of a brow product, this kind of waxy, like lock your brows in place all day thing, is you kind of have to figure out what shape you want the brows to go in. And that's really the hard part. So I think this brow product is so good for people like me who like clearly have brow hair. All the hair I have like on my head, so my natural hair, my lashes, my brows, it is so straight. It goes straight down. So I have brows, they just don't do anything but lay totally flat against my forehead. So this is great to kind of help me bolster up what I have. I'm actually considering getting either microblading or at the very least brow lamination because I'm tired of like when I don't have any makeup on, like it just genuinely looks like I have no brows, and I totes do. Okay, so one thing you can do with this product if you feel the need to is take a makeup brush and take the end of it and just really kind of manipulate, lay down do your final schmoozing of the brow hair. So next I'm going to take this brush. This is a Real Techniques angled brush. Not 100% sure what the number is. If it's on here at all, it is tiny and I can't read it, but I'll link everything I used today down below. Then I'm going to take my dip brow from Anastasia, which is in the color Soft Brown. So I've got my dip brow here. I'm just trying to get some of the excess off. And what you really want to focus on here is practicing your lines before you go in on the skin. You don't want to have too much product on the brush when you do this. So once I have some test lines and I've kind of cleaned up some of the excess, I start in the front of my brow and then I'm just going to follow the lines, or excuse me, the hairs that I already have. Like so. Also, one thing you can do, and I usually do, I can't believe I forgot, is I'm not so good at this yet that I can do it with just the dip brow. I need a little bit of a guide. So I'll take a brow pencil. This is the Precisely My Brow from Benefit in number 3.5. And I'll kind of map out the bottom like so, just so I have like a starting point, like a base to work with. Follow that base. Fill in any sparseness. This isn't something that's easy to just do like a tutorial and bam, now you can do this. It really takes practice. And some days I get it right and some days I don't. It's really funny. The days that I don't get it right, I can just like, and keep it pushing. But my comment section will get lit up. People get so triggered about this. It's like ridiculous. Just let people do their brows. I don't really care. It's not the end of the world to me if I'm not having the best makeup day. So then I'm going to take some concealer. This is NARS Soft Matte in the color Custard. I've always got some kind of cream concealer like this on deck because I use it to clean up and kind of shape the underside of my brow. I've been doing it this way for years. Anytime I do makeup on somebody, I do it this way too. So all I do is just kind of follow the shape that I created. It's also helpful to have this step. If the shape gets away from you, you can easily get it back to where you want it to be. I know some people do this on the top part also. I don't really feel a need to do that. I feel like the bottom side by itself is just as effective, and it kind of also acts like a brow highlight right out the gate. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm gonna do the other brow and then I'll be right back. All right, brow's done. I'm gonna go ahead and do some lip balm. Whenever you're doing makeup, I highly recommend in the very beginning of your process, especially if you're going to be doing a bold lip like we are today, go ahead and put lip balm on. Lip balm on. It makes everything so much easier by the time you get to that step. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and prime using Tarte Shape Tape. It's what I've always used to prime for as long as I can remember now. For eyeshadow, I'm actually going to use the Desi and Katy Friendcation palette. I've been using this palette off and on for months now. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I run out of it. I just really like the colors in it so much, and it's easy, and it's bada bing, couple of shadows in here. I don't gotta fool with a big giant palette situation. The shadow in here in particular that I love the most is this one, which is called Necessary. I need a dupe for this. Some of you guys told me to check Tim Talia. I did, and this isn't listed anywhere. So if you guys know a dupe for this color right here, let me know because I'm obsessed with it. The last really in-depth eyeshadow tutorial I did is huge. Every time I do a really in-depth hooded eye makeup tutorial, it blows up. It's wild. But I'll link that down below if you want something more step-by-step, really dedicated tutorial for hooded eyes. This is not that. It's a lot more effortless. But if you want something more involved, check down below. So I'm starting off with a fluffy brush in that Necessary color. And we're going to start by putting it in the outer corner of the eye, but we're going to drag it down at an angle. Like so. So it starts right here. Like this is my orbital bone. I'm going right underneath that. And I'm dragging it in at an angle. So the bulk of it is going to be out here on this outer corner. And then once you kind of have a little less product on the brush, that's when you can kind of start connecting it. But what I recommend doing is going above. So you see how it's right here, kind of where it stops. Go slightly above that, like turn your brush sideways like this, and then kind of feather it over. In case you're wondering what I'm listening to the Scared to Death podcast. I love this color because it's so neutral, like the perfect amount of neutral. It's not too cool, it's not too warm. On my skin tone, it's amazing. So the goal for this shadow is just really blown out. Like you can see that I have eyeshadow on, but we don't want it to be like this concentrated, super intense pop of color on the lid. It's just like, that's always the way I try to describe it, at least. Going in with a more tapered brush. This is the Wayne Goss number 3. It's probably my favorite eyeshadow brush, top 3 favorite eyeshadow brushes that I own. We're gonna move in with this color right here. It's just a caramel color called, I think this one's called Churro. And we're just gonna slightly go right below that first position that we put our color. And again, we're gonna flick it inward at an angle like this. Do you see how it's following that? Once you lay it down, go right in with your fluffy brush and blend it out. I kind of feel like if you don't have hooded eyes, you don't even need to do this part. It's just that if you do, and you kind of want to create some shape, some lift, and some opening, just the way to do it, girl. Okay, you can stop here or go one more in with a smaller brush. I think this is a MAC 221. I'm not sure the number is well past rubbed off of it. And we're going to go in with this color right here, which I obviously like a lot. I believe it's called Cheens. You want a very little bit of your darkest color. You really just want a neutral brown, a caramel brown, something with a little bit more warmth to it, not red, something a little more, you know, a little more impactful, and then you want a darker brown. You just need 3 browns, essentially. Your more pointy, taper, smaller brush. And we're just gonna repeat again what we've been doing in the same exact area, but we're just gonna bring it a little bit lower, like kind of touching that lash line. And you just kind of wanna dance out here. Don't go up too high, don't go in too far. It's just to create a little bit of a wing out here, which is very helpful for someone who has a more hooded eye and who just wants to lift it like I do. And then to blend and soften that, you'll just go in with the brush prior, which is your second brush. You're just gonna kind of soften that up a little bit. So going in with this color, it's just like a flesh colored, I hate that word, side note, flesh. Ugh, don't say that to me. I'm just gonna put this all over the mobile lid. Not necessary, but I just like the finish of this color. I think it kind of ties everything in together really nicely. Side note, Dose of Colors, could you make this permanent? It's a good palette. I'm just saying. So here's a little tip for you guys. If you have hooded eyes and you have hair like I do that is straight as a board, hold this eyelash curler on for a beat longer than you think absolutely necessary. Like in a perfect world, I try to curl each lash for like a minute. It's not always achievable or timely, but I really need it because my lashes don't want to do anything but go absolutely straight down. For mascara lately, I've been using the IT Cosmetics Superhero mascara. I got this as a sample when I went to Ulta a few weeks ago. I mean, I've used it before, but it's been a long time since I used it. And then I got a little sample of it in my bag, and I was like, holy crap, I forgot why I loved this mascara so much. I don't know. I don't have like the thickest lashes in the world. I have been using a lash serum for quite some time, so it's helped, but I feel like this mascara really does maximize the lashes quite a bit for someone like me, especially for the type of person who's like mascara only, which I am mascara only when I'm not filming or doing a glam look like I am today. But even if I was just going to wear this by itself, like, I'm not too mad at this. Also, I started using a primer. This is the Lancome Cils Booster XL, whatever. Just a lash primer. Not mad at these type of products either for just palling around the house and running errands, don't want to do full glam, but want a lash vibe. These two together, yes. Let's do lashes. These are the same lashes I have been wearing for like a year. Not the same pair. Wouldn't that be impressive if it was the same pair? Just the same style and brand. And that's the Eylure Luxe Marquee, whatever they're called. I get comments sometimes from people who are like, why do you put the lash on? It just covers your lid. And it's like, I don't really care if you can see my lid. I don't know. Is that weird? I guess if I was doing something like really pretty and sparkly and exciting on the eyelid, I would care. But even then, I kind of like that vibe where it's like, you can't see it unless you look down. It's kind of like, surprise. I don't know. It just doesn't bother me. My lashes cover up my eyelid. It's not this thing where I kind of sit around and like covet people's eyelids. Like, oh dude, did you see all that lid space? It's just, I don't care. I like these lashes. I like a thick lash anyway, because I kind of feel like my lashes, like the lashes that I gravitate towards, I feel like they almost open my eye up more than anything. Like they lift my eye open so much. So I just like something big and lashy. I'm not opposed to finding something more natural. It's just been a while since I've kind of been on the hunt for another lash. And I'm cool with that, man. Just chilling. For foundation, I'm going to mix NARS, Sheer Glow, and La Mer Soft Fluid for no other reason than it's going to give me the color that I want. Although it might be a hair too light. So I'm actually going to add a touch of the Drunk Elephant De-Bronzy in there. You guys have been asking me to update you on what I think of that product. Kind of considering doing an update on all the products that I picked up in my Sephora haul a few weeks ago. There's some that I ended up not really loving. Some that I've still not had a reason to use or not used whatsoever. So I can do an update video. I don't know. I don't want to say like anything bad about a product and then I change my mind, and it still feels early, but I can do it if you want. So putting about that much of the De Bronzy. Gonna mix it up with my brush. I kind of hate wearing makeup when my breakout is this bad. I know that's kind of counterintuitive. You would think if my skin is like struggling this much that all I would want to do is cover it, but I feel differently. I really want to leave it alone. But I think if you're like me and you've had so many difficult skin seasons of your life, you just kind of have to get a sense of humor about it at some point. Like you can't let it ruin your life or slow you down because it's just so unpredictable. I mean, I'm about as sure as I can possibly be that this is from that conductivity gel, but I haven't backed off of it long enough because I really want to finish this treatment since I've been enjoying the results so much, but I haven't backed off of it long enough to know 100% sure that's what it is. And I'll find out, once I do stop the treatment. If it continues, then it's not that, it's something else. And I guess it'll be good that I'm on tretinoin, but I am looking forward to getting back on tretinoin, even if it's just enough to clear this up again, because it's just, I've had enough. Part of me wonders if it's also mask related, because it's all right here. And my breakouts usually are very ostracized to the chin, but I've had them like exactly where my mask is. I had one on my tip of my nose the other day. Like, so annoying. I mean, it wouldn't stop me from wearing my mask, but it's still annoying. Okay, I'm going to bronze/contour using the Nude Sticks Bondi Bay. If you guys are wondering what I think about this, love it. Absolutely love it. It's such a great color. I always start off by warming it up on the back of my hand a little bit, like so. And then I just go in with her, man. I'm going to blend it out with the Wayne Goss number 12. And the way I blend out creams, or blend anything on my skin really, is I try not to drag like this. I try to pat as much as I can, especially with these denser brushes. Something like this, where the bristles are really long and move really easily. I don't mind doing more of a swirl motion, but when it's dense like this, I feel like these can move product a little more easily. So patting, I think, is superior. I'm just going to put this all the places I always put bronzer or like contour, which I know there's a difference, but I think we're so far removed from that heavy contour time, you know, when that was just all anybody wanted to talk about. I'm so glad those days are over now. Don't even get me started. I think bronzer truly can kind of double duty contour and bring color to the cheeks if you're using the right colors. It's still doing that, but it's not this harsh, like I'm trying to carve her face up. Ooh, that's not violent kind of vibe, if that makes any sense. To do the nose, I'm going to take this brush. This is the JD Wadey and Luxie Beauty nose contour brush. It's like 107 years old. Passed down to me from my grandma. No, I'm just kidding. I've had it forever. I don't even know if they make it anymore, but this is what I use to do my nose contour. And all I really do is just kind of this number right here. Nose contour, I feel like it's like eyebrows. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't. But I'm just not worried about it either way. And also I do the contouring / bronzing first because it's just easier to clean up when I go in with concealer. So if this is looking a little busted, then all I have to do is use my concealer to kind of straighten her out. I'm going to use a mix of custard and ginger from NARS. Ginger is a little closer to my skin tone, so I typically go in with it first. And I just put some right here. I take it down along the side of my nose. And then I do this guy right here. Like that. I want it very lifted. And then like maybe a dot right there. And then I'll take a synthetic brush. This is the MAC 224. And I use that to kind of blend it out. Although I have had this brush for such a long time and it doesn't matter how many times I use it, it is going to shed. I will always end up with little bristles on my face, so I always have to go in, see? And peel them off with tweezers. You guys know of a good synthetic kind of fluffy eyeshadow brush like this, please let me know because I will switch. I get sick of that. And you can see like a really harsh line right there where it's like intersecting with my bronzer. I'll just kind of take my sponge, soften it up a little. So I tend to use the darker concealer under my eyes, and then for the highlighting portion, I use the lighter one, which is custard. I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand like so. And I'm going to take the more defined tapered edge of, so this is a two-sided brush, I'm going to take the defined side and try to draw a straight line down my nose. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Like that. And then I'll fan it upwards. I usually leave this nose highlight situation to sit for a little while before I even bother trying to blend it out, because when it comes to doing a nose, like anytime you blend something, especially like a really small line, it's going to expand. So when it's a little tackier, a little less liquid, it's kind of easier to control. But my nose contour process is like multi-layered. Even with this part happening, I'm going to use powder later to highlight the center the most. I feel like as long as I can get this little line down the center highlighted, I don't feel the need to do so much with all the darkness on the nose. I've talked about this before where I see girls just go so hard with like dark shadow on their nose trying to contour it, and it just, your nose looks thinner, but it looks like you just have brown all over the sides of your nose. Anyway, moving on. For blush, I'm going to use Nude Sticks Poppy Girl, and I'm just going to put this on a brush. This is the Real Techniques 402. So I kind of apply it with a brush. Excuse me, I have itchy right there. And then I blend it with a sponge. I just feel like that's the easiest way. Build it up quite a bit. Blush for me, first thing to go. I've said this for a long time. That's kind of why I like cream blush more. I feel like it lasts longer. It looks more natural. Just prettier in general. I kind of like to get some of the excess off and lightly take it on the nose. Just to bring a little life. With the back of my hands. My hands are always covered in makeup when I do it. I don't know what it is, man. It's like to get in there and get my hands dirty. Then I take this Morphe sponge with this like super straight edge, And I'll put that on that nose highlight. And that's really kind of what I think does most of the work for like my nose contour or whatever. I feel like it's just the easier way to do it, is just focus on making the bridge as highlighted as possible and as thin as possible. And your ace is mean. I'm gonna let this sit while I do my lower lash line. Just gonna take some Urban Decay Primer Potion along here. You don't have to do that step, but for me, my lower lash line will not last if I don't put Primer Potion there. So I'm just gonna start off with that neutral color that went all throughout our crease. And I'm gonna try to keep it mostly on the outer corner and connect it to the outer corner like this. This is kind of like the majority of the under eye that I'm gonna do. I used to like really go hamburgers down here. Just tons of it, drag it all the way down. I'm not really feeling that anymore. But I'm gonna take that kind of caramel color. Outer corner right there. For highlighter, I'm actually gonna mix two. I'm gonna use the Jaclyn Cosmetics highlighter in Iced. I will tell you guys what I think about this and this. This is the Luminous Powder. I have opinions about these. We'll talk about them another day. But I'm gonna mix it with the Buxom Wanderlust highlighter in White Russian because this is frosty, my friend. Elsa could never. This stuff is so intense. So I mixed them together to kind of get the vibe I'm going for. Like even still, holy crap. I like to take it down the center of my nose a little bit, like right here on the bridge in particular. And then I always put a little right here. I'm gonna take red lip liner from MAC to line the lip. For lipstick, I'm using NARS Star Woman. I'm gonna let the patrons roll. Thank you guys very much while I close this out. This look is something that I think would flatter pretty much anyone. I kind of feel like it's very like modern day pinup Hollywood vibe, which I've told you guys a million times. I love old Hollywood everything, especially hair, makeup, and fashion. I hope you guys will try it. Definitely send me pictures on Instagram if you do. And at the very least, I hope this video taught you that even if your skin is acting like an absolute butthole, that you can still pull it together and still do a glamorous look. Make yourself feel a little zhuzhy. I just got an email from my pharmacist saying my tretinoin is on the way, and I'm so happy. I will let you guys know if it actually works and clears this up because it's been going on for so long, but I didn't want to put off putting a tutorial up any longer. So love me through it. Anyway, I will catch you guys in the next one. Have an amazing day. Check the damn bar for links on my social media platforms, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.